Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, Zach Pearson, and today I'm joined by the almighty tablet user, the monotone Carlton, to end all monotone Carlins, Pika of House Mitsu.
Hot as fuck. Fucking my balls. My balls are sticking. Someone stop the sticky balls.
He's referring to the summer heat, just so you know. Also, we have the living embodiment of the heat, as well as the kryptonite of all innocent citizens who happen to be somewhat reminiscent of the skin tone of Michael Jackson circa pre-dyeing his skin white. The one officer to beat them all, a one Matthew Cops.
Come on, man. Don't make me out to be the bad guy. I'm not that kind of cop.
That's what they all say. Moving on. Our topics are pretty cut and dry. We're going to be talking about GameStop, or lack thereof, in the near future. Big box alternatives. The resurgence or possible boost up of the longevity and interest of the first-person shooter, as if it doesn't have enough interest in this country, and some MLG shit involving Smash Bros. But to be more precise, Pika, we're going to start with you for all the questions going down the list. Topic 1. There's a hidden buyout supposedly going on behind the scenes. The company's in on its last legs. The question I have to you guys is, do you think that GameStop is still going to exist in, say, 5 years from now? Why or why not?
Okay. So, I think GameStop will still exist because, now this is going to be kind of brought up in the second topic, but it's going to go and blend into the first topic here. GameStop is, to me at least, like the go-to as far as if I want to get a physical copy of a game. Because if you ever go to, like, you know, Walmart or other places like that have like everything, which includes a little game section, and you go there and you see a game that's like 2 years old, 3 years old, odds are that motherfucker's still going to be at full price. You know, at least GameStop decides, you know, bring prices down on things once they realize, oh, things are getting old. We want to move this off the shelf so we can try to at least, you know, make room for more stuff. And people are always going to want physical copies because the alternative to this is that you either buy online physical copies or you get digital games. And even though a lot of people have good internet, a lot of people don't. So they're going to want their physical copies. And sometimes our impatient asses don't want to wait for games to be shipped to us. We want to be able to go out and get them at our leisure. Which is why I still do believe that GameStop will be around. Now, mind you, they may be fucking up a little bit as of late, but maybe they'll learn. Maybe they won't. We don't know. But I have a feeling they will learn, because they will soon learn that if they go away, things for gamers that want physical copies of things and accessories and all that jazz, it's going to get a bit worse.
Okay. Second topic. Is there a big box alternative that caters to gamers you think can, for lack of a better term, tank up the same mantle that GameStop has? Or are we simply doomed to the halls of Walmart and Best Buy and Target if they go belly up?
Okay. As far as who can rise up, I would honestly say Best Buy would be the best one to rise up if they can make a bigger gaming section, because they do have a decent gaming section as is.
I suppose you could say Best Buy would be the Best Buy.
We were trying to avoid that pun.
Mm-hmm.
Some puns need to be made.
Walmart just carries, like I said, a bunch of random shit, overpriced, barely any accessories. GameStop just has that wide selection of accessories. If you don't want to go shop online, GameStop is the place to go. If they get closed down, we're gonna have to find some kind of new like place because R.I.P. Toys R Us, they were still overpriced, but well, fuck them. There ain't really gonna be like a second contender. Everyone had already basically agreed that GameStop is your go-to, just like Craigslist personal sections was your go-to if you wanted a quick freak.
Wow.
But
Wow.
that's gone, and now people are stumbling around like, what the fuck do we do now? That was like our one go-to place. What do we do? So, if that goes away, people are really going to be looking around like, shit, we have to go do something else, but we don't know where to go. And they're going to start going to those, those Walmarts and those Targets, and they're going to start paying absurd prices, and they won't be able to get stuff used if people want to go get stuff used. And it's just going to be really, really sad. I don't think anyone's going to step up if GameStop goes down.
Bleak future. Okay, topic 3. Resurgence, as if they ever fell out of popularity, in console first-person shooters. There's a rumor going about that Microsoft is getting ready or considering enabling keyboard and mouse, which, as we all know, point and clicking is always better for precision shooting as well as precision movement in a video game, which takes away the biggest complaint / advantage the PC gamers had over console gamers when they go into competitive first-person shooter play. They had, for lack of a better term, pinpoint accuracy. Excuse me. So, my question to you guys is, do you think that if this happens, we should fully segregate controller players from mouse and keyboard players no matter what system they're on? Or do you think at this point the world is used to it and it doesn't matter either way and there won't be any type of serious advantageous behavior with a mouse versus a controller in a competition involving FPSs?
I mean, it's been a while. I mean, yeah, I play Overwatch. I've played Overwatch on both PS4 and PC. And if they bring, keyboard and mouse stuff over to consoles, then yeah, it's going to take away one of the biggest advantages that PC had. And then you have to think about the other side of things as well. The one thing, well, two things that PC people always used to boast about when they talk to console players, like, LOL, we have keyboard and mouse, pinpoint accuracy, like you said. But number two, they're able to customize their experience and sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes get their game looking better than the console versions. Which means, oh, our things look better, ha ha ha, and oh, we have easier ways to record the shit that we want to and get it uploaded to wherever we want to easier. Because some people do that. Now, if they move over the keyboard and mouse stuff, it's really going to basically lean on the fact of, is the console market going to be able to step up their graphics to the point where they can catch up with higher end PC users to get rid of that last little quote unquote advantage of, oh, things are more clear for us, we can see things more clear on the PC. But bringing over the keyboard and mouse does bring a big advantage over to console people, so it could make a lot of people switch. But until they get the graphics thing taken care of, I'm going to say that the segregation will still be there. It might not be as strong, but it'll still be there.
Okay, well, let me ask you something. Do you think that these people, do you think that Microsoft should mandate that all these companies put built-in toggle between kicking out people or blocking people for certain controller types, so you could set it to PC keyboard and mouse can only play with keyboard mouse users and controller users can only play with controller users?
Um, I mean, it's gonna be a bit difficult to really detect that in the first place, I think. Because I would think if this happens, then someone's going to make some kind of program which will fool the game into thinking, hey, they're using a keyboard and mouse, but they're actually using a controller, or vice versa. Of course, people are going to be dicks like that. It's only a matter of time if that happens. But as far as what you use to aim and shoot, I really think segregation like that is going to be bad in general. I really don't think they should.
Okay. Topic 4. The MLG versus Smash Bros. For decades now, it seems the video game community, or more specifically, the fighting game world, has tried to isolate or defame Super Smash Bros. Titles as not fighting games or only party games, even though it is in fact a fighting game, for the simple fact that it does not adhere to traditional rules and standards set forth by Capcom-related styles of fighting game formats. So my question to you guys is, what do you think needs to be done in order to get the situation resolved? What do we need to do to get all game players during oh shit, sorry, a notification popped up on my screen. I blocked my view. What do you think we need to do to get other people to believe and understand that Super Smash Bros. Is in fact a fighting game, or do you consider the whole thing doomed?
Smash Brothers has always been a fighting game. It's just been, more fast-paced, more like kind of all over the place, like Marvel. But just because there's, so many of these licensed characters and it looks all kitty and shit, and there isn't an HP bar to determine who wins and who loses. You just have to go by knocking people off a stage and think, oh, it's not a fighting game. Okay, let's bring fighting games down to bare descriptions. So a fighting game. You have two people. You have one-on-one. You do shit to each other until one person doesn't move anymore. Okay, so let's bring this back to Smash Brothers. You have two people, if you're in the tournament scene, 1v1. You smack the crap out of each other until one person doesn't appear on the screen anymore, aka they don't move anymore. But if you want to get even more elitist about it, if you remember back one or two versions of Smash, there was an option when you started Battle Royale that you can make it an HP battle.
Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah, you can have a certain amount of set HP. And when the HP reaches 0, they fall down on the ground and they can't move anymore. So yeah, it's a fucking fighting game. People need to shut the fuck up. It's a fighting game. Plain and simple.
Spoken like a true Pika. Alright, officer, second verse, same as the first, topics 1 through 4.
Alrighty, topic 1. Will GameStop be around in 5 years? As GameStop? Probably not. It might be still around under a different name. Because, like, as you implied here, there's a buyout going on. Depending, they might not be just bought out and gutted, but maybe they'll be bought out and put under better management.
Allegedly. You gotta say allegedly.
Well, I'm still using uncertain terms here with maybe. But anyway. But yeah, I think there's a chance that perhaps, should they get bought out, whoever buys them out will not just gut it and get rid of it, but try and keep it going. As we now jump over to topic 2, I think as Pika said, the GameStop offers one thing that is a lot more annoying for most retailers to do. They offer, hey, we've got all of these nice accessories that you can get for your consoles and stuff, and games and the like. Not many other people, or not many other retailers, sorry, not many other retailers specialize in that. GameStop has that niche, so to speak. If so long as back to topic one, whoever, should they be bought out by someone who would want to keep it going, should they go on that angle? I think they could definitely stay around and still sell physical games and the like, but I think they should probably shift more of their focus towards the accessories and the like. Now, as for topic 3, yeah, it is an established fact that keyboard and mouse is the best way to play first-person shooter. Straight up, there's nothing better. But as for segregating keyboard and mouse from controller, I can't say I agree with that, because you can get people who are just as good on controller as someone who's like really super focused towards like playing the keyboard and mouse. It's just a matter of different skill sets.
Whoa. Let me see if I can understand that statement you just made. Are you trying to say that there is an indistinguishable difference between a skilled controller player and a skilled mouse and keyboard player?
If they're skilled enough?
No.
Yeah.
No. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's not a statistical fact. That's an opinion, bro. Science and also calibration data does not lie. Mouse is always more efficient with less effort.
Yes, but you're asking for opinions here now.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean present an opinion as fact.
I'm not presenting it as fact.
Okay, well maybe I'm misinterpreting you. Did you or did you not just say that there is no skill difference between a skilled controller player and a skilled mouse and keyboard player?
It depends on their level of skill, really. There are some on controller who might be just as good as some of the higher tier keyboard and mousers.
Nope.
Wow. Anyway,
the device literally is not
noted. You disagree.
Level. No.
Skipping ahead to topic 4.
No, it's not a disagree. I'm trying to tell you, the way the controllers are designed and programmed, they do not have the same level of ability as the mouse and keyboard for motion. So the limit isn't based on them. It's literally the hardware. A Porsche, well, let me phrase that. A moped is never going to go as fast as a Lamborghini based on the skill of the driver.
Alright, well, as far as I see it, segregating them based on controller and mouse, no reason to bother with it. People are used to it by now. They'll just deal with it. Now, topic 4. As far as I see it, feel free to disagree with me, because I get the feeling you will. Smash is both a party and fighting game.
I really don't disagree with that. You kind of stole my answer.
And I personally think that, yeah, I don't want to bother playing Smash as a fighting game. I find it a lot more fun when you have like 4 or even 8 people with all items on. But as for making it so that more people think of it as a fighting game, bring back the whole match with hit points thing. Bring that back, and I'm pretty sure most of them, well, there'll still be a lot of people saying, it's not a fighting game, but they might be few in number. So bring back that feature. Come on, Nintendo, it shouldn't be too hard. You already did it once. You can clearly do it again with a new game.
Okay. Now it's time for the last horse to finish
All right.
the race.
And with that, I unfortunately have to be going for now. Later, dudes.
All right. Catch you later. Looks like we may have a last minute entry. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now, as far as I'm concerned, in the case of topic 1, I don't think there's so much a hidden buyout as there is they're trying to scramble to see if someone wants to buy them and if they are going to do something along akin to liquidation or converting the business. Now, I can't remember the name of the company that they're supposedly in talks with, but here's the thing about in talks. Take it from someone who's been around businesses for at least a good damn near 10 years. In talks don't mean shit. In talks mean they're trying to figure out what shit they want or can do. That being said, I don't think they'll be here in 5 years. And it's not because they got stiff competition, but the main reason I don't think GameStop will be here in 5 years is because they don't know how to function in modern society with what they have. There are so many other franchised or mom and pop, low scale companies that do almost the exact same thing that they do, but 3 or 4 things different that are proven successful. Play and Trade, when it came out in my state, was considered and awarded, I believe, for being the most successful business of that year. And it's entirely franchised. They pass that shit out like a $2 stripper with herpes. Like you can't get away from it. Almost all locations also clear a low 6-figure amount per, I think, 6 months. Not only do they fix used games and also repair consoles, they sell them too. Something GameStop stopped doing and then say, you know what, let's just put this all on the internet. Like almost 6-7 years late, if not a whole decade. They didn't want to modernize their business. It's basically a rinse and repeat of Blockbuster. It's crazy. It really is. Now the second topic, I feel like there is a big box alternative, but the big box alternative won't necessarily be what we want them to be. I feel like Best Buy might possibly step their game up. Because for the most part, if you go into any modern Best Buy, or at least the big ones, they have sections where barely anybody comes over or touches anything. So they stick a bunch of cables that collect dust all day and night in those sections. Cables that could be found in multiple places throughout the store with different brands and shit. I feel like they're going to stick, for lack of a better term, a gaming corner in those areas. And for used games, what they're going to do is they're going to tell you they have it. They're going to buy it from the website and tell you you can pick it up from here. So even though it's a used game, you would pick it up like you would a normal game when it first comes out. That's the one modern thing that Best Buy started doing. Like the one modern thing. And even then, that shit was late as fuck. So I feel like it's going to be between places like Play and Trade and Best Buy. Matter of fact, Best Buy already got a Gamer Pass / discount thing going on. And they also sell amiibos. Bitches love amiibos. Now, as far as topic 3, first off, let's not even say Resurgence. I don't even know why that's really there. First-person shooters have never gone out of popularity. And even if they did go out of popularity, they still piss money. So they would just pay people to promote them and get them back into popularity. By they, I mean the big corporations. But yeah, I think that if they do this, and they should do this, but I think it shouldn't just be Microsoft. I think it should be everyone. If you're going to have a first-person shooter, or hell, maybe even third-person shooter, I think you should possibly consider allowing for keyboard and mouse. Genuinely speaking. Not no novelty shit either. Because first and foremost, as I said earlier, hardware is different. An analog stick, no matter how skilled you are, does not have the same movement precision as a laser mouse, which go anywhere from $2 goddamn to a couple hundred if you get an extremely stupid high-end one. That's just how it is. Excuse me. Something in my throat. So basically, I want everybody to do it, but I do want there to be a segregation option, because it may turn some people off from even trying to play competitively, because they don't know the reason that they're so much better a shot isn't because of skill. It's legitimately because mouse and keyboard, or really just the mouse. Fuck. Now, as far as topic 4, the MLG versus Smash. This is how I look at it. We live in a society that is filled with people who want to run and hide when they're wrong and not embrace they were wrong so they can learn from their mistakes and not repeat them. Super Smash Bros. Is a fighting game. Feelings and opinions don't change that. The party aspect just came in because, first off, there is no real genre of the party game. We just dictated certain types of games were party games, and it just stuck. Just Dance is not a party game. It's a dance game. Fucking Wii Sports is not a party game. It's just a game that came with your system. DDR is not a party game. But I swear to God, I've never been to a party where I didn't hear some DDR music in almost the past 10, 12 years. Unless it was at a major club or some shit. Too many drunk white girls. That shit is scary. But I digress. Fucking, it's pure and simple. It's that goddamn simple. It's a fighting game. And as far as trying to fix it or fix people's opinion on it, you can't fix that unless you fix social media as a whole, really. Think about it. A stupid person saying something in a room full of people versus a stupid person who has, let's say, millions of viewers, subscribers, or people looking at his content saying it, spreads that mindset. The only way to truly stop that shit is if people get banned, blocked, muted, and ostracized for saying it, or shamed. But some people take that as a fucking compliment, or they're just so lonely, screwed up, and messed up in the head that any attention is better than no attention. And they will say stupid shit like that just to fuck with you. At the end of the day, it's a fighting game. It's a fighting game because the genre has a very, very vague yet simple and finite, refined definition. A character controlled by the player assaults another character controlled by the player. And that's all they do until somebody's energy gauge, whatever format it is, reaches a point where the other person or the computer cannot function, allowing them to win. I can't get more simpler than that. Pika, can you get more simpler than that?
Not really, no.
So yeah, that's how I look at it. Now on to our late entry. We have a text enterer by the name of Corey because, well, unfortunately the podcast collided with his work schedule, so he's decided to answer the questions in text. And as you know, in this podcast, we honor people's questions when they put them in text. For the first question, Corey thinks, I don't think GameStop will last another 5 years with the continuing rise of Amazon. Just look at where Toys R Us is now. The stores are charging for more than Amazon is charging. So yeah, I don't think GameStop will last, if not 5 years, another 10 years. I think the next gen will keep it around just a bit longer. I don't think it could be Best Buy. They just got rid of their Gaming Pass thing. Oh shit, I didn't even know that. Just seems a little counterproductive. It's gonna be 30-70 split with who plays with M and K mouse and keyboard controllers. At least I think. How the fuck are you still on questions 1 and 2? Okay, well, I'm gonna let him finish up getting questions 3 and 4. But while we're doing that, Pika, I'm gonna ask you how you feel about the current Marvel vs. Capcom 4 remake rumor, and have you seen it or heard about it?
I have not heard about the remake of Marvel vs. Capcom 4, and
Rumor.
I find it very difficult to measure the amount of fucks that I give about it.
Damn. I take it you feel extremely burned, much like I do with Marvel vs. Capcom 4. the initial version.
Yeah, it's just, why do it?
Wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna go pull up the rumor or a part of it so I can, say the shit accurately. Give me a second.
And while he's gone, I would just like to take this moment to say that, we've got quite a few good games coming out in the latter half of this year, with, the new Fallout game coming out, and a few other things which escape my brain at this moment, but still mostly Fallout. And I cannot wait to start wiping people out in the Fallout world and possibly troll them by blowing up their shit if I take enough time to find nuke keys. So, yeah, fun times.
Okay, so long story short, the biggest problem with this rumor is that people think it's going to be called Uncanny Addition, which an old bullshit prank remake of Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate 3 was titled, or supposed to be titled, Uncanny Addition. Secondly, what it really states is that Capcom got asked to heavily promote or begin re-promoting Marvel vs. Capcom 4 due to the Avengers movie and the one scheduled for 2019, and possibly, organize some type of big tournament event for it, and blah, 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 blah. To which Capcom, allegedly, responded with, fuck no. Do you know how screwed over, by the way, I'm paraphrasing, we got with the last iteration of Marvel vs. Capcom 4, and they specifically denoted an incomplete and uneven roster, and that they told them that we will not do anything unless you give us a contractual obligation saying we have creative control on the roster, but you can still suggest characters to us, but we would also like to put in suggestions for your characters we would like to utilize. And supposedly they said okay, but they need to get this done before 2019, or before or during the release window of the second Infinity War movie. Now, okay, so he did answer all the questions. It's just he didn't space them out, so I read them all together. All right. Well, I'll brush through them again before I get out of here. One of the things it stated was, since Capcom caught most of the negative publicity from it, they asked for leniency from Marvel with who they add in the game, and also they would like to add, or can they help them add, mutant characters. Because regardless of the deal, Marvel still has access to the people who hold the licensing. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is just, these are characters who are guaranteed gonna be in there, blah, 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 blah. And it claims there will be an announcement during EVO of this year, either in the beginning, middle, or end, that not only show up the new Street Fighter V DLC characters, but also just a teaser trailer for this game. So my question to you guys is, Pika first, this smell like some bullshit to you, regardless of if you care about it or not?
Well, we can always wish that someone would change their ways and allow things to be better. Then again, I'd always wish to nail an Asian with a big rack, but both of us would have to pay for it. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Your crown of shocking and bothersome statements will never be taken, I predict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, money speaks volumes. That's what they're going to have to do if they really want this to happen. They're going to have to pay a lot.
Wow. Personally, for me, I say Yeah, it can happen, but I think by that time it won't even be Marvel vs. Capcom 4. I think they may just skip to 5 because no matter what happens with the deal, now that MSNBC officially got removed from the shit because, Disney scrounged up a little bit extra cash, I think that Capcom may consider the name too toxic and they may move the fuck on. That's what I think. I think they may call the next one Marvel vs. Capcom 4 proper. Just to try to separate it. Or they might do something like, since they got the licensing back, they could ask, can they get a license to make an X-Men related title? And maybe feature a couple Avengers. That's what I think. Because at the end of the day, there's too much bullshit surrounding Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity in general. Yeah, they could do something with it, but they would have to heavily promote it. And it would have to be more than just, ooh, look, DLC mutants. Yeah, the fighting gamers would pick up on it, but as we've discussed and stated many times, the fighting game community on its own cannot support all these fighting games. They need money from other consumers. If every fight gamer that's registered on the professional circuit, no matter what league they're in, no matter what franchise it is, bought every DLC for that game that they play religiously, those companies still wouldn't be able to make that much fucking money. Period. Period. All right, now I'm gonna look at what Corey's typing. Ooh. All right, Corey states he ain't falling for the hype. But if they do something new, he feels like they should just move on. Preferably another X-Men versus Street Fighter. Or hell, fuck, I want another Children of the Atom. That would be cool. So yeah. Now a quick reread through correctly of how he did his questions. In the case of topic 1, he thinks that GameStop will last another 5 years. But due to Amazon and the price differences between them, he doesn't think that they'll make it another 10 years. Basically saying they'll be dead within 10 years. As far as topic 2, he doesn't think that the big box alternatives could be Best Buy, especially since they just got rid of their gaming pass. And the third topic, he feels like it's a 30-70 split between who plays with mouse and keyboard and controller. I'm not sure what he thought that question meant, but moving on. And he still hasn't given a question on topic 4, which is what do you think needs to be done to get the fighting game community to stop having a debate over if Super Smash Bros. Is a fighting game and just accept that it is in fact a fighting game, or do you think we're just fucked? Why does it keep saying new messages, but when I look at new messages, ain't shit there? He doesn't think that the fighting game community will ever stop and that we're just fucked. They're just going to keep saying it's not a fighting game at random, which makes absolutely no sense. And when the shit's at EVO, the largest or arguably largest fighting game tournament in the fucking world. Okay. Anyways, with that being said, I bring this podcast to a conclusion. Pika, do you have any final statements?
Not really. Hooray for whoever's in the round of 16 in the World Cup. Good job, guys. Keep it going and don't dive too much.
Okay. Well, I guess my closing statement needs to be something, very philosophical for people to think about. Does Leon S. Kennedy in Resident Evil 2 Remake look like Eminem? You decide. And with that, this has been another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I will see you guys when I'm done rendering and I figure out what music goes with this. Probably James Bond. Bitches love James Bond.